realized that I hadn't made a video for you. Like that. Anyway, I'm gonna keep practicing it, but thank y'all for listening. And yeah, as you know and you remember the message, dude, you can seriously take any position you want to take. Who you really are is constituted by whatever stance you take, honestly, and that's in your total control. So you can be who you want to be. When you look, by the way, if you're just now tuning in, head over to Instagram and send me a direct message, but only if you are serious about really doubling your revenue while simultaneously increasing the passion and connection with your spouse, while simultaneously going through the overwhelm of raising a kid or two. And it's all, and you want to build a business at the same time, because that is what is working. This is what is working really well, and I've mastered the system to allow you to be able to do it without you having to spend a whole lot of my time or take a whole lot of my time, but just be able to have it happen overnight. So all it requires is, if you're not watching this on Instagram, head over to Instagram and just send me a direct message. Anyway, yeah, thank y'all for watching this. And again, if you click like or a comment here or engage with this post in any way, what's going to happen is you'll start seeing me more in your newsfeed, and what you'll get in your newsfeed is more messages like this. So you'll be getting tips, secrets that are so powerful, that are so life-changing, that one can literally just change it quick for you really fast. And you're basically a business owner who's also a spouse and a parent, and you want to be able to have more revenue at the same time as more freedom with them. Again, the bonus, the secret there is, and hopefully this is getting articulated well enough and coming through the social media clear enough, but it's being present to what you're dealing with. Being able to be present to what you're dealing with, so that when someone because I'll admit, when I got that text message from my brother-in-law, I was at first like shocked and like offended. You know what I mean? I was offended. I had all these thoughts come up. I'm like, what? What are you talking about, dude? Get your facts straight. What are you talking about? Get out. You know what I mean? And I had that happen. And I literally almost just ignored it. And I almost wrote it off and told myself some story. I almost told myself some BS story about him, that why he's the problem. I almost did. And why he's the problem, and why you don't text somebody something confronting like this. You call them, but you know, like I was making up a story and saying, oh, that's why you don't. This is right here why you don't confront issues in text. You don't. You jump on the phone for that, because if you don't open up that communication, you're going to have misunderstandings. Then you're going to have breakdowns on one side or the other, and maybe the person has no idea. You know what he said? This was the killer. What he said was, this has happened like 3-4 times before. We never said anything before, but now it's just gone too far. This is ridiculous. I'm like, what's this? You said this has happened 3-4 times. What is this? What's happening? What's going on? This is the first I've ever heard about it. I haven't talked to you in 6 months because you just text. What are you talking about? But what did he do? He had the balls, the courage to jump on the phone, and we opened up the communication. And when we did, I could hear what he was saying, and I could put it together. I couldn't have put it together otherwise. I had my own stories, my own stuff going on in my way of being present to him. So I was listening to what he was saying from the position of, you're not even on my team. What are you talking about? I was doing that. And so it shaped the way I heard and the way I read his text. It shaped it completely, and it triggered me. And when I noticed myself get triggered, and so here's what you'll do. You'll undoubtedly notice yourself get triggered. You know what that means? You'll feel sensations up in your body that'll grab you. It'll be intense anger or intense sadness. And it will hurt. And it will go boom. And it will wake you up. And when it does, be present with yourself. So if you can't be present with them anymore, and now whatever they've said has now triggered you, and whether they said it in a text message or an email or a tweet or a Facebook comment or an Instagram comment, no matter however they said it, once it grabs you, By the way, if you want to literally work through and master this in one conversation that will double your, literally have one free conversation that will double your sales and revenue and also give you all these extra benefits, head over to Instagram, send me a DM there, and you'll see the system that I'm working on. But I'm mastering the system, and I've gotten it so dialed that you can't even touch it. It's getting so good. I'm ready for you to give it a little whirl, but only, well, you can do it through Facebook here, but Instagram is a little bit more convenient for that. Sometimes, not all the time. Anyway, the story is so juicy because as I hung up the phone with him, I literally hung up the phone with him, and I looked at myself in the mirror. I got a mirror right here. I got a mirror here. I looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, what the hell was that? Like, what was that? So I went back and I looked at the message that he's talking about. And I went back and I looked and I saw it and I said, oh my gosh, dude. And some of the other things he had said in the conversation started making sense to me. And it was all like it came flooding on top of me like this huge realization of like, dude, I literally had messed up my relationship with him for the last 6 months because of a made up story in my head that I didn't get clear about with him. And I didn't get clear about it with him because I didn't open up the lines of communication between us on a literal phone call, not text on that, but on a literal phone call, and just get clear about his view, what he was seeing. I wasn't willing to be present to that. I wasn't willing to be present to the pain that it would cause me, or that I was afraid that it might cause me if we actually connected like that. And so for 6 months, literally this dude has been my family member for 10 years. And for 6 whole months, I had a made up perception of him. If Ty, if you're watching this, dude, I literally, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Like, because I wouldn't simply just open up lines of communication with him well enough and be present well enough to what he's saying. So that right there, little nugget, will absolutely change your life overnight. I promise. And if you don't believe me, or if you think that sounds a little woo-woo, or in any way weird, or like doesn't make sense, or anything like that, dude, just send me a message over on Instagram, or right here on Facebook as well. And I can answer any questions and get that straightened out for you. I can typically in one conversation live with you over the phone, one conversation, and it starts doubling the revenue immediately, as well as the passion and connection in your marriage with your spouse, as well as your free time with your kids. I'm not even kidding you. It's like I'm so grateful. And I'm so grateful for you, anyone here watching here live, and for those of you watching the replay over here on Instagram, or right here on Facebook, or right here on our podcast. All you do is send me a direct message to get this into your life immediately. And it might cost you nothing. It literally might cost you nothing. One conversation might be all it takes, and you never need any help on it again. So that is the best case scenario. Anyway, let's see here. Audrey Amara. Hey, Parker, remember the training we learned about the story we create that became a fact, but it's just a story? Yes, Audrey, I do remember that training. Are you talking about the freaking Landmark Forum training? Is there a more powerful, transformational company than Landmark? I don't know. What's your opinion? What's the most transformational company that you've ever actually encountered? Curious about that. This is for leaders who want to be more powerful and impactful leaders and have more power in their personal and professional lives, in their personal and professional relationships. So I'm curious, Audrey, put down there in the comments and let me know. what's the most transformational training / program that you have ever actually been to? And by the way, the Landmark Forum was awesome. Yep, Landmark, yeah. Yep. Anyway, y'all, hey, thank you for watching. If you didn't catch this live, just post a comment here and let me know your opinion on any of this stuff. And I appreciate you. Talk to you later. Bye.